Yeah, babe, I was just thinking, well, we were thinking because we talked about it the other day, and I want to talk again about faith in terms of the way we used to look at it when we were in religion
Hmm.
and the way we look at it now and the differences.
Right.
Not so we can criticize the way we used to believe or people that still believe that way, but just to get understanding and through comparison,
Right.
the way we looked at faith back then and the way we do now. And it's really, really different understanding of faith.
Right.
I know you know that because you're changing with me. We're both changing together, and just I'm trying to remember some of the things we are talking about because we used to believe that in a very, to put it as basically as I can, and I think you'll agree. Just tell me if you don't. But we used to believe in a basic way that if we do these things, then God is going to respond in a positive way.
Right.
We need to do these certain things, and we were taught this, and we learned it, and we believed it,
Hmm.
and we taught it to other people. So the words weren't God won't love you and accept you if you
No.
don't do this, but it was like implied. So when we did the things, we kind of felt better about ourselves, and then we failed and we didn't do the things, we kind of didn't feel good. We felt like, wow, I'm kind of in trouble.
Right.
But it was always implied. It was, but still, it was as strong as if someone just said, "God doesn't love you anymore." Because I didn't feel like going to outreach, so therefore I would never skip church. I would always make everything I could, and sometimes though I did fail, and sometimes it was just attitude. I had a bad attitude, and wow, you know, what can I do? And the words were never there. That was amazing. The words were even in my own mind wasn't he hates me, but the feeling was he really doesn't like me very much.
Right.
And it's so different now because now my faith is still faith. It's a different kind of faith, and I think it's a much better faith because I realize he loves me. He
Right.
just loves me, and
Well, what I was thinking is that when um, the faith that I believed in is that, or people would always tell me,
hmm
and we would be in conversation or whatever, and people would say, or even like preaching over the pulpit, stuff like, you need to fast for that, fall fast for that, talk to God about it, pray about it, intercede about it, keep praying about it, because if you don't pray about it, or if you don't fast or anything like that, then it won't happen. You got to keep seeking for it. And so basically, I understood that now, looking back on that, I understand that that was me doing something in order, and and believing that because if I did that, then God was going to answer. So I think about it now, and I think when I was in religion, faith was always believing the way I was taught or told or understood is that God was always going to answer whatever I asked as long as I believed in and did the work and interceded or prayed. He was going to answer. Might not been like that, but he will answer when you do
all
those
right.
things. And so, like you said, of course, we believe in it different now. Now it's not anything that I do or have to do. It's believing in Him and knowing that I'm loved and accepted by Him, and knowing that my faith is in what He's done.
Right.
Yeah.
Because in the old
So
way, was there ever any way where yeah, you did the things you were taught, but could you feel or could you really know in your heart, I've done enough? Well, say for instance, there's an issue. You take it to God. You're praying on it. You want a certain outcome, obviously.
right.
You don't want the bad outcome. You want the good outcome.
Mm-hmm.
The good outcome doesn't happen. Was in your mind? Was it like, "Man, I knew I should have done more. I should have prayed more. I should have fasted more." Or was there ever, in other words, was there ever the option in your mind that, well, the person in that situation just made their own choice? I prayed and I talked to God, and they chose not to.
No, not then. It was like the first thing that you said. if I would have just did more, or I didn't have enough faith, that's why that did happen, or I mean that didn't happen because I didn't have enough faith. And when something did happen, you get excited because you think, wow, I prayed for that. I had faith.
Yeah.
I had faith. I prayed for that, and yep, I was a part of that. I had a lot to do with that, and you do.
High fives all around.
Yeah.
Did you ever see anyone devastated? Were you ever devastated because you so did what you were told to do, that you were told you do this thing and the good result will come, and it was something really big. It wasn't just like, boy, I hope our income changes or something, but it was huge. It was life or death, and it didn't happen, and you or someone you knew got devastated by that.
Oh yeah, there was a few times when people would ask me to pray for a situation, or someone was sick or on a deathbed and things like that. There was a situation where a few people that I prayed for, they passed away, and there were some that were I was really praying and interceding for them and stuff, and they passed away, and then I was devastated because I even said, why did they die, God? Didn't we have faith to believe?
Wow.
And yeah, there was a time like that in my life.
So we can get this later, because I believe you found peace on those specific situations now. But at the time, what did you do to find peace, or how did you, quote, for lack of a better term, resolve that in your own heart? Like, I mean, I've heard of people saying, "Well, God failed me," and I think you were a person who felt like that.
No.
But somebody must have failed in that math. In other words, whether it was implied or literal. Was there a resolution? Here was a thing that could have been done, and it didn't happen. Someone failed. Was there always like that feeling left, like it should have, but it didn't because?
Yes, there was that feeling for a long time, and I don't know when that feeling went away, and I don't know if it ever did go away for a long time, because if the person's name or something would come to remembrance, then you would
feel
think,
that pang in
yeah.
your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.
What does that make you think, though, as far as comparing that to your newfound faith and understanding of God's love? Does it make you look back with sadness, with anger, with why do they do that to people?
It just makes me realize that, thank you, God, because it has nothing to do with me. It's not on me. That had nothing to do with me. Those people being sick that passed away, or in any situation, had nothing to do because of my faith or what I did or anything like that. It's just, we live in a fallen world. So if I look back at it like that, and I realize, though, if I had to think about people who still teach this about faith and all this, they just haven't arrived, and it does sadden me.
Yeah.
I will say that if I think about it right now,
Right.
it saddens me because people will go around thinking that they don't have enough faith.
Yeah.
So that's why things don't happen, or they have so much faith that things happen.
Yeah. Yeah, either one is
Either one.
is totally inaccurate, and it is
Right.
sad because it's as though God is secondary to us.
Right.
If my faith is good enough, then hey, He will. But if my faith is bad, that poor lost soul will remain lost, or that sick person will die.
Right.
Which is now we see. I think you agree. We both see that's like ludicrous. It's absurd
Right.
to think that God won't until I do. But that again, it's never said in those words, but that's how we end up receiving that communication. That it's your faith, it's your faithfulness or lack thereof. Therefore, God reacts to you, and that's a powerful thing. But if you want to say something to somebody that feels like kind of trapped in that, what would you say to them? That they want to be free from this, but they feel so stuck to it. It's like, I don't know how to let go of that. I've been doing this all my life. In fact, I've travailed for people, and I'm convinced that God moved His hand because of my prayer. But I don't want to feel all that guilt and shame when it doesn't go right. I mean, what?
Things have changed so much in my life that the only thing I could tell someone is that just believe that you're accepted and loved by God, because that is love for you, and knowing that you're accepted, even though when you're feeling that way, is the only thing that can give you peace and rest in that situation
Right.
of believing. That's because that's what worked for me.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Thanks for sharing, babe.